Good day, good day, good day, my people. How are you doing, MUFC Realist family? It's your boy, Mark, an MUFC fan, and you know what it is. It's time for the manager's press conference, which is all but 12 minutes away. Big up to Mick Ruby. He's not available for the presser, but he will be doing a reaction. You can sure to be catching that live later on. Guys, I'm here to cover. I got the keys to the city once again. And I'm here to help you guys listen and go through what the manager says in the press conference ahead of the clash at home versus Everton. Guys, what are you saying? How are you feeling today? Let's get into this. But first, guys, take this time to smash the likes and subscribe. And if you're new, hit the notification bell so you can see when we're live. It's MUFC Realist TV, guys. You know, we always include everyone. We can't do it without you. You are the heart of the show, each and every one of you in the chat, and those who are not watching it live but will catch it later. Big up to all of you, and let's get it started. Big up, guys. How are you feeling? Big up to Mick Ruby. Massive game ahead. Smash the likes and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Big up to you, Stephanie Griffith. I hope you're well. MVP of the Man United Real Estate on YouTube. No show can do it without you. Big up to you, Angie. You know you're the legend here. What's going on? I hope you're having a great day. We have to get a win in this match against Everton. If we don't win, this team don't deserve to be in the top 5. I can't wait for the summer transfer window to see who's going and who Ineos is bringing in 100%. I agree with you, Angie. I 100% share those views. I'm big up to the stat man. Yali, the stat man, Malmeen is in the building. I am not expecting too many changes this summer. Next year will most likely be the summer of changes. Some players will leave. The two high contract players are on is the reason of not much business. I agree with you again. You're coming in with some fine points, my brother. How are you doing today? Hope you're well. Big up to Neil Driscoll is in the building. Top Red, hope you're doing well today, man. Hope you're good. I said, Mia, what's going on, my bro? How your days going? Is everything good? Hope you're having a good one. It's going to be a tough one today. Let's hear what the manager has to say. I know you're pretty sure he's going to get some questions about his job and if he feels secure. I also think that maybe he's going to be questioned on the performances of some players. You know, might even get a question on Rashford and his interview, guys. You never know what might happen. I don't know what your thoughts are. What kind of questions do you think the manager will be presented with today? I hope we get lots of questions about the team selection for the match against Everton and what is the plan. I hope they don't take too many things and distract with other not so more important news, because right now, you know, we have 12 games left until the end of the season. Well, 11. This is game week 28. So after this game, we have 11 games left. And it's one of those things where we got to win. You know what I mean? We have to keep winning. It's going to be a tough road, but the next 5 to 7 fixtures aren't only tough for Manchester United, guys. It's also going to be very tough for the teams above us. As you know, all the teams above us have to face each other one after the other in the next 5 to 7 games. So if we can get these characters in our squad, you know, happy, confident, and performing well for the next at least 7 games, you know, we also face Liverpool twice in those 7 fixtures, once in the FA Cup at home and again at home in the Premier League. And the game and the FA Cup is like 3 games away and then 1 game, and then we play them again at home in the league. Guys, it's going to be a tough one. We went away to Anfield, and for the first time in a while, we've been able to get a point. It's one of those things where they're coming home on home turf where we usually get the points, and we need them at this point in the season, guys. 100%. I need 50 more characters. Hope everyone is doing well. Big up to you, and I think we should do it like about 50 more likes as well as 50 more viewers. It would be nice. Maybe people will tune in the next few minutes as the presser is about to start. I'll be checking on it in a little bit to see what's the status and how it's going right now. They're still showing top 20 counterattacks of the season, and you know, well, we want to see what's going on with this with the game against Everton. Big up to Reggie is coming in. I can see a dominating possession-based, front-footed attacking style of play tomorrow from United. Oh, wait, that's not going to happen. Let's save the sarcasm for tomorrow, man. You know, we did beat Everton 3-0 this season, so you never know what could happen. It could be another one of the teams that we do the league double over this season. I mean, we've done 4 already, or 5, I think. So, you know what? It's not looking so bad. Big up to you, Jordan Wall. How you're doing over there in Sweden? Hope you're having a great day. Let's see what's going on with the presser. It's about to start in 7 minutes. Reggie, big up to you, bro. It's all good. You know, I mean, the team has been so up and down this season, but like at the same time, I would like to remind everyone that it's not really one of those things where we're in a position that we're going to see a lot of consistency. I know it's the second season of Erik ten Hag's tenure at the club, but as you can tell, guys, you know, he instead of changing the style of play in his first season and sticking with it, he got results, and then he changed it in the second season. Now, whether that is wise or not, I'm not 100% sure. I can't say, well, it's wrong of him, because some managers do it in their first season, and some managers have to take a progression step season after season. You know, if you look at Mikel Arteta, that's what he had to do in getting rid of the players he didn't want in Arsenal. It happens in a bunch of different squads as well. You know, at Bayern Munich, it happened before. It happened in AC Milan. You know, it happened at Juventus. So it's like, you know, we always say that the manager should have done this in the first season and we would have been understanding of it and been more happy with it. You know what I mean? If it was last season, but we can't keep rewriting the history. You know what I mean? It's already the past. It's happened already. And this is what's in front of us at the moment. So I feel like, you know, we could only try to see, well, from the perspective of maybe this was a situation that, and he could not have done it before, you know. Everton are definitely a bogey team. Will, good point. You know, can be fooled by them, and they're fighting for relegation. You know, it's one of those things where they're going to be coming out roaring and fighting. Big up to you, Kenny Fan TV. What's going on, my bro? How are you doing today? You know, and you know, Reggie, you're making points. Yeah, big ones. With all these injured players, ETH should give a chance to players like Amas and Lacey. I agree with the Amas and Lacey, Reggie, but at the same time, it's like, you know, let's see how it works. Maybe they could come on in the second half and get some minutes. You know, I would like to see the players in the squad who we have starting actually show up and be accounted for right now. I feel like, you know, these players need to start taking accountability. You know what I mean? Yeah, Neil, Arsenal might beat United, but you want to know something? If we was to lose 1 of 10 and win, let's say we win 9 and draw 1, you know, that's damn near 30 points. That gets us to 72 points this season. You know what I mean? So you have to look at it in the from the perspective that it's still possible. And with Rasmus Hojlund back, you never know. We get more potent up front. You know, you see that a bit of the same. And, you know, he's lethal, guys. He creates a chance for himself, and we will be creating for him. As you can see, he's sorely missed in the squad over the last 2 games where he was out. I'm pretty sure if he got the chances Rashford had in the games against City, we will be up 2 or 3-0 in the first half. It would be a different game. But you know what? It's not the way it worked. It worked this season for us. We've been having a season riddled with injury and disappointment, and it's been up and down. But let's not forget, guys, we've been in a rebuild. And yes, we're in the second season of the rebuild, but the most important part of a rebuild is an exodus of the players who have been poor for seasons and seasons before the manager came into the club. So it's one of those things where I would ask for a fair assessment at the end, because you know what? There's 11 games left, and we could still win 9. And if we was to win 9, I feel like that would change a lot of opinions and change, especially if the football we win with is consistent. Yeah, Yali. I don't think Rasmus might be back until the next game. I feel like this is a game that will be kind of tough, you know, to have him come in and start. Maybe if he comes on for 20 minutes, if he's available at all from the bench. But I would rather rest him for the game, you know, midweek, and see what we can do coming forward. You know what I mean? Always a little bit extra rest can't hurt anyone. You know what I mean? It might get him a little frustrated, and you never know. He might be coming in harder to score goals faster. You never know. Boom, boom, boom. Rasmus is still injured. Well, he's not injured actually, but he's been back in training this week, light training, and I don't think he's good. Eric Ten Hag, he always has this situation where, he keeps the players back a little while before he brings them right into the starting lineup. Big up to everyone who smashed the likes. I see there are 46 people watching and we're up to 10 likes. Guys, maybe if you don't mind, take this time and just smash a like, just because you're here. The manager's press conference is going to start in like 2 minutes, guys. We're going to be ready for that shortly. One second, guys. Boom, boom. Right. So, guys, what are your thoughts so far? I know how everyone is feeling. Stephanie Griffith is coming in. She's like me. Any doubt? Rest Rasmus. No risks. Kenny Fan, I'm liking to hear news about that. Malacia should have been back in training. There's been a bit of banter going around between him and Bruno on their Instagram. So you never know what could happen. Let's see what the man. I hope someone asks some questions about this. Guys, really sorry about that. Had a little bit of technical difficulty there. I'm going to bring up the press conference right now as we speak. It's already begun.
One of them things again this year to stop this season becoming a failure?
It's we want to be.
Do you need to do one of them things again this year to stop this season becoming a failure?
It's we want to be successful. We needed to be successful, but sometimes seasons are going like we are now in, but we don't accept that. We will fight. We have had problems. We still have problems with in our squad, with injury wise. But with the players who are available, we will fight for it. We have to win every game, and we go into every game. It doesn't matter who is the opposition. We go for winning.
With 11 games left to play, obviously results are always important. But what's more important to you over this period? Is it getting the results that you so desperately need, or do you need to show the performances between now and the end of the season to convince everyone, the supporters, maybe even the owners, that the project's still going in the right direction?
The project is going in the right direction when we have the players available. And top football is about winning games. We know that. And so we're working and we keep working on better performances. We want to play to maximum levels, and we will have to do it with the players who are available and which are good players. It's only in some key positions you miss players who are very they have a very high impact on the way we want to play.
Just following up on that, then, Eric. You talked about with the players who've been missing all season, and you talked about last season you had consistency in your team previously. Do you feel your team's under or overperformed this season, considering everything you've been faced?
But no team can't deal with this with so many injuries, and I think we're playing to maximum levels. If you take in respect and the availability of the players. So when you miss so many key players over many part of the season, then obviously the results, the performances will not that be when the players are available. And we have seen when the players were available, like in January, February, our performances were very good. And I think from that moment, when the players were not even fit, and they could do even better when they are 100% fit in that moment, but they were not.
One of the players obviously been missing is Rasmus Hojlund, who's just been named Premier League Player of the Month. How frustrating is it that he's been out when he was finding great form, and how much have you missed him?
Yeah, but a lot. But I have to do it, and we have to do it with the players who are available. And so I will never complain about that. And so we work through this game with the players who are available, and we have to get the best out of it. And that is our aim.
Eric, it's a game against Everton. Sean Dyche has had his own issues with his football club in terms of off the field. On the field, what have you made of them and what are you expecting?
I think it's very clear. You can see really his handwriting. So in the style of playing of Everton. And he has done that very good. On the moment he took over last season, he made them very fit. So it's a very good structure in his team. So it's a very good team. And we know what to do to beat them.
Last question in this section, Andy.
Harry, you won 61 of your first 100 matches at Manchester United. You won a cup. That's a better record than Jurgen Klopp, than Arteta.
Wow, yeah, good question.
And I know you don't want to use the injuries as an excuse, but to what extent have they derailed what was a pretty positive trajectory?
It tells that we are in the right direction. And because, so imagine we had many more players available, and that we had not so many setbacks in injuries. It could have been easily 70 or 75 wins, and that tells the bright future of this team when players are available. Because if you compare it with other managers or other teams in the past who were in a built-up stage, or with previous managers in this big club, then you can see there is a bright future, and because also with I think it's a good balance in ages in the squad, where young players, middle-aged players, experienced players together. And imagine when they are available. As I said, we could have easily win from 100 games 75, and it's a big difference. I think with the things with the stats you mentioned.
Okay, that's it for the press conference.
Well, big up, people. I'm back in the studio. Mark's computer crashed, and I just literally ran out from a dinner booking that my wife made. But I caught glimpses of this interview, and seems to me still is that injuries, what he discussed at the very end. Let me know your thoughts and feelings as well. But because if you really look at it, United this season had 43 different types of injuries. 43 injuries in this season. That's unprecedented, to be honest. And it is like you going to work and you have half of your team in sickness for 6 months, and you have to sort of replace them with substitutes. So you can sort of understand what he's trying to say. And he doesn't really like to use excuses. In terms of who is available, Hojlund seems like he's back, but would you rush him in, right? Would you just give him a rest, or would you start him on the bench? Let me know what you think as well. Other than that, for me, it is a must-win game. If you look at the weekend, it's such a big weekend. The Super Sunday, 100% is you're looking at Aston Villa, playing Spurs over the weekend. So one of them has to drop points. So there might be 1 point each. We just have to look at what I understood game by game. And eventually all his first team squad will come back in the Helms as well. Because we're looking down, I think it's about 2 weeks from now, there's an international midweek break. And you will have a full squad coming back to finish off. It is the 10th round. I mean, there's 10 games left. And can you win 10 out of 10? 10. Funny. 10 Hag, 10 games left to play. So, I mean, it is doable. It is doable. But however, one can look at what kind of pressure he's been under with the media creating these stories about his job being not safe. And I did a video about this morning, and it's not the case, apparently. It's not the case. It's the banned journalists that are not allowed to attend this press conference that have been starting these rumors or putting one together. And this basically agents also looking for the clients that are out of contract. Thomas Tuchel, Southgate, De Zerbi, I don't really know, but De Zerbi got whooped yesterday with 4-0. So for me, he looks still like a manager with a great swagger and confidence. It's just down to the players' mentality. Can they show up tomorrow? We are playing Sean Dyche. He asked the question about Sean Dyche, and everyone knows what kind of Sean Dyche as a manager is. But Everton is facing relegation at the moment. And of course, we know they got done by FFP with the 10 points deduction. Will they come to Old Trafford like Fulham did? We got to be prepared, right? We got to prepare for that. And don't let them boss us around. Alistair Dirks, Erik ten Hag never use injuries as an excuse like the other PL managers do. We need a squad depth and quality. If we get that, we'll be more competitive. And that is what he said, Alistair, 100%. He said, like, if I had all my players available, we definitely would win 78 matches or something like that, or 78% out of everything. But it's so trendy to look at and fall into that bandwagon, and it's so toxic. But this is our fan base at the moment, right? So I backed the team this weekend due to that. The next 10 games is so important. We have easy run of games if we look on the paper. We are facing Liverpool, Brighton, Liverpool twice in the cup and the league, and Brighton, and I believe also one of the top 6 as well. So our fixtures are not looking so shabby, to be honest. While you look at Spurs and Arsenal, Liverpool, they have some big games coming up, right? Spurs and Aston Villa especially, they're all meeting up the top 6. So eventually they will drop points. But what do we do from here? It's Old Trafford tomorrow, early kickoff time, meaning that I don't really like those early kickoff times. In a way, I do especially when I travel and I'm over in Asia Pacific, because that means it's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff time for me, which is favorable, because otherwise, I hate being up from 3 a.m. in the morning to 6, 7. But for me, all we need to do focus tomorrow is to score goals. And where is the goals coming from? Will Rashford play up in the middle? Will he risk Rasmus Hojlund to start him up front, or will Rasmus be on the bench? Don't really know, to be honest. So that is kind of the way we stand today, right? Okay, we lost against City, fair and square. That was Yeah, I mean, we won the first half, but we didn't expect to win that game anyway. So we basically lost Fulham and City since we kicked off after New Year. So it's not that bad, right? It's not bad. So I want Manchester United to finish strong this season, 100%. And there is a chance that top 5 will give you Champions League. Depends on what others are doing around Europa as well. But because if you get into the Champions League or Europa League, that's massive money for the footballing operations, which determines what you're going to recruit in the summer as well. Let me know your feelings as well. What happened to you, Admiral Drex? What are you going on? Whatever Ineos want to do, let them. I'm tired of all this noise. Fans are toxic. Players are not good enough. Managers struggling. Club environment is super toxic, as most fans. And I totally agree what you're saying there, Drexy, man. Really, I totally agree. But if you haven't noticed, you haven't seen any leaked lineups for the past 3 weeks, that means they're keeping a very tight ship. And by the looks of it, these leaks coming out, there's from the old guard, right? There's the ones that are not safe in the job, they're leaking shit to the journalists, right? Or agents speaking to journalists as well. But other than that, it's been quite tight. And they sacked basically the CEO of social media. What was his name now? Phil Lynch as well. The one that was posting training and who won the man of the match in training, absolutely shambolic. Read the room, right? So that's where we are at the moment, guys. But other than that, what can we say? Who will start? Who is available? Will Victor Lindelof play as a left-sided fullback? I don't know, right? But what I do know is that we need those massive 3 points tomorrow. 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, as long as it's a victory. But we cannot afford to draw, right? We cannot afford to draw. What are you saying here? Admiral Drex, I wonder why... I wonder we are expecting a miracle. We've been super toxic. Yeah, but it's true. Now, I like to use this analogy, and I used this before, but I keep referring back to it. Sir Alex Ferguson drove us in pole position, right? He handed over the keys when he retired to the Glazers, and they basically super crashed the car, right? Super crashed the car. And that's what happened. And we've been stuck in the past with having no sporting vision, sporting director. But basically when it was David Gill and Sir Alex, they used to run shit, right? And then the Glazers totally got in with Woodward, and Woodward was he didn't understand football, and he just deployed his mates from his university, bankers, all of them. So that has been the story. But since then, we've been like this old McLaren car, racing lap after lap, year after year, and trying to fix the car with duct tape, right? And it doesn't really work when you don't have professional background staff, mechanics that can fix your broken wheels and stuff like that. You will never win, right? You can have a good engine, but all the components and parts needs to be balanced, right? The back wheel, which is your back four, the front wheels, which is your left winger, right winger, and in the middle you should have a striker, and in the middle you have the engine or the midfield. It's been unbalanced ever since. And then you can sort of look at every single manager that came in. Van Gaal had a style of play, 100%, but we fired him after winning FA Cup because we wanted to get the next shiny thing as a fan base. We're shouting, Jose Mourinho, come in, you're a savior. Jose came in, got the same treatment. First season, got backed by the Glazers. Second season, he didn't. He spat his dummy out, called the Glazers out, started to play Scott McTominay as a centre-back, if you remember, and got sacked. So the year he said that, we're coming second in the season 16 and 17 was his biggest achievement, because why? He didn't have any fucking backing. That's what he said. It's clearly there. It's quote. And ever since there, we've just been doing the same thing, hamster wheel after hamster wheel, right? Until actually Ragnick, they called out what it really is with the Glazers. That didn't last long. He was supposed to be there as a consultant. But, apparently Murta was sucking all the information, learning from him. And that didn't work either because Murta is still inept and still using a lot of consultant outsource everything that it does. So I'm very, very pleased to say that when I heard Ole Gunnar Solskjaer speak the other day on the overlap, it really exposed the way things are working within the club as currently. And I'm really kind of looking forward to what Barada and Ashworth and all them that's coming in can do. Because I certainly believe that if we had that establishment from 10 years ago, we wouldn't have this sacking of managers. Ole might have been successful. Jose Mourinho might have been even successful in winning multiple trophies. Yeah. But it doesn't work like that, people. And now we are in the middle of, survival. So that car is broken. And that car, we loaned up all our spare parts, basically in January window, right? We loaned out Alvaro Fernandez, Pelistri, all like youngsters and key players. And we were betting onto, hang on, Luke Shaw is going to come back. So let's not prolongate Serge Reguilon's contract. I read an article today about Serge Reguilon, by the way, and he was very grateful to play, under Ten Hag. It's on One Football app. Go read it. It's a very interesting article. And furthermore, we were just kind of banking of injured players to come back. So, and they did come back, but they didn't last long, did they? They broke down, right? And we were back on thin ice again. So what we're seeing right now, I just pray that as a club, as a fans, that we absolutely go on a winning, that we maximize the points as much as we can, because we know that Aston Villa and Spurs will drop points. That is inevitable. If you look at the game of fixtures, they will drop points. They're playing City, Liverpool, Arsenal, both of them. That's 9 points dropped. 9 points dropped. And by the way, the weekend, Villa and Spurs are playing each other. So we are 11 points behind Villa on fourth. Mathematical, it's possible. Let me know what you think. How you doing, Mark? Are you there? Sorry. You good?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I had a crash in the middle. Like the Glazers keep sniping me when I'm talking. I'm talking about them. The truth is coming out. I mean, from what you're saying, Mick, and from the press conference, I was able to catch it in the background. I feel like the manager only spoke honestly. He basically is giving you as it is. Some people might not accept it because it's the truth, but sometimes it's hard to swallow. And he's never made excuses about the injuries. He's never made excuses. He's just saying, listen, I will do it. We have to do it. We must. And when he says we must, he's referring to the players who are left, who he has available.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like commendable because, this guy is here. We all want him to try his best with what he has left so that when we get the starters back, we could kick on. And he's just doing that for me. And that's just my opinion.
There's fair assessment. Exactly. If I had a choice, I hate what the media is doing right now. It's clear as blue sky what they're trying to do, right?
Mm.
We've seen it before. So I'm just backing the badge, basically, backing the manager at the moment because he's gone on enough shit as it is, right? Why is nobody giving Pochettino shit, right? He's in a worse position. No, everyone has got to jump on the next Manchester United manager and XYZ. So I'm tired of this debate, basically. I did a video this morning and I debunked it with Ornstein, basically saying that there's nowhere near they're talking about this because you know why? They're working on Omar Barada, the structure first, all the way down to the manager.
100%.
100%.
It only makes sense.
And then is basically what it is 1 year left on his contract. He's got a say in that as well, by the way, and with an option to extend the contract. So it ain't doom and gloom, to be honest, right? I'm just tired of this toxic shit that's been created. So we got to be positive.
Yeah. I mean, Mick, it's been so much going at the manager since the season began. It was Mason Greenwood situation and they pressed him. It was Jadon Sancho. It was the Anthony situation. Marcus Rashford had his little incidents. There's little other things happening with the squad with players injured. And it's just weird that, all the while things are happening all around. Other managers are struggling, like they're fighting for 8th, 7th. De Zerbi, this guy, at Poch at Chelsea, everyone, he's the media darlings and whatnot. He's always banging on about the play injuries and all these things. Our manager is not doing that. Of course, the results aren't great. I could understand as a fan from the perspective, like, listen, we are Man United, but we've seen this trend with these players before. We've seen it with Ragnick and other players before.
Yeah, there's 2 points that when I want to talk to you about that, because basically, yeah, I can agree. I can read the comments that he's not the most has got the charisma in the interviews. Like, he's very Dutch, very boring, very straight to the point. No excuses, no bullshit. That's Dutch. It's very straight. On the other hand, it goes back to when I listened to the overlap when Ollie was saying, like, when it was his final days at United and everyone was down tooling, right? And he said, for fuck's sake, just put your hand up, whoever wants to play. And there was just a handful of people, right? So I hope that with 10 games left to play, that you as a manager can see who is the snake, who is the backstabber, and who will actually back you. In front of his face, they might say, yeah, boss, I will play for you. But as soon as they get on the pitch, then you see how they down tool. And if I was the manager, I would just identify it and say, you out on the bench.
100%.
I don't care.
But Mick, don't you think that the way he's playing the squad, not changing his style this season, is also highlighting to the guys observing, like a Sir Dales Burford, when he's watching every game, like, yo, this player, look at him. Like, I'm highlighting it to you every game. Look at him. Look at what he's doing. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's also using some of his selections to send messages to the up above, to let them know, listen, this guy's not good enough, but this is what I have to do. This is who I have to play, because we don't have anyone else that's really ready or at his level in terms of experience to start.
Yeah, true that. But I also was thinking about it today. It's not very unusual that companies do send out pulse surveys, like they try PR test. What if we do this? Let's test it with our target audience to see the reaction, right? It can work in that we put on shit names like Southgate. That was just what the hell, like, because that is got a reverse effect. So basically, the names they put out is not managers that are better than Ten Hag, to be honest. It's a little bit of a downgrade. So why would you exchange for ice cream for an ice cream, right? You would go from ice cream to what? Like, creme brulee, whatever, the next in class. You know what I mean? The most expensive thing. So at the end of the day, like, when I did the show this morning and when I was listening to Ornstein, basically Fabrizio Romano is not talking about this. And Ornstein was saying they're nowhere near talking about replacing the manager. That was his last words, right? So.
And like Yali is saying, he thinks that Erik Ten Hag's job is safe no matter what results that he achieves for the rest of the season. United will take away his power with the new contract. And I think he's referring to the veto thing.
Yeah,
which for
me,
they
will.
It's not. I don't even think he's gonna mind that. I think the only reason he put that veto in last season was because he was working with Woodward and Murtaugh and these guys who know nothing.
Yeah, it was. That was part of his condition to accept the job, like, because he had numerous of interviews. He understood the structure. He knew what he wanted to do, and he knew that, I'm dealing with kind of muppets that don't understand football, and that's why he put that veto in the contract, right? But if you listen 2 weeks ago when we did that interview, when he said, I need help, right?
Basically,
Manchester United is the biggest club in the world, and there's no way I can do this alone. I need people that are on the same page. When they asked about the in-ear structure, and he was basically relieved, you can see that. And yeah, 100%, man. Like, if you're working in any job, any company, if you're not getting any backing from your bosses yourself, and you have to do everything else, like, you will absolutely fail, right? You'll be set up for failure. So my standpoint regarding the managers, they've been all set up for failure. But with this new establishment coming in, they're making sure they will not be a failure. They're making sure that they establish all the processes, everything is aligned, communication, the vision, and the manager has just to do what the manager has to do, managing the squad.
Yeah. And, you know, like I see Drex is saying, you know, he would like Ineos to come out and make the decision known that they're backing the manager. But, you know, from my perspective as a football fan, like, why do they have to do that? Like, we are fans of a football team. And of course, the fans are the lifeblood of the team. But at the same time, we all chose to support Manchester United. We weren't forced into the situation. So I feel like sometimes you just have to, you know, be a fan. And yes, we're going to question the manager's decisions. Yes, we're going to question the player acquisitions and the players who are sold and what the owners are doing. And we could all really and truly hope that, you know, they take our views into consideration. But at the same time, you know, we should just be fans. And like, if the Ineos doesn't want to say anything now, like, we should just respect that, because I feel like it doesn't make an impact difference.
No, but
really.
If you look at it, Mark, and panel, and you know, and the VR room, ever since they took over, they've been operating swiftly as a professional organization. Everyone was saying, "Oh, we're gonna get Jean-Claude Blanc as a CEO." Out of the middle of nowhere, boom, you got Omar Barada. Boom, they know they will ride out the storm. If they know that this is the person we want to go for, they will ride out the storm. With Ashford, they already identified, they offered him, he accepted the offer. Now it's all about negotiating with Newcastle to release him, to pay that money to release. But they have already lined up the ducks. They know exactly who they want. Michael Edwards, Julian Ward, and Dougie Friedman is just one of them thrown in the mix. But I think they will go for Julian Ward, basically. Because you know why? And Jason Wilcox, by the way, because the reason why they want to go for Wilcox swiftly, because Southampton will release him, no problems, right? The reason why they're going to go for Julian Ward, because he's available. He's been taking a sabbatical for 18 months, right? So he can start ASAP. So that means that while you're waiting for Ashford and Barada to start, you will have interim people taking care of the recruitment in the summer, the structure. So that is key. So from now on, Mark, I just think, like, you know, we got to be positive. We just got to back this, right? And be scrutinizing the players. If the players are not doing well on the pitch, we call them out 100%, right?
100%. I feel like it's the only thing we can do at this point, because at the same time, when you look at it prospectively as a fan or as a pundit or a critic or someone in football, you know, it's one of those things where they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And yeah, we could say the Glazers have been here for the last 20 odd years and they've been doing a madness. But I mean, Ineos is a new minority stake owner, and they have a certain percentage that allow them to make a decision when it comes to football.
Yeah.
So when it comes to football, let's just, you know, give it a little, take a step back as fans, give them a chance to make the decisions that they're making. We've seen they made 2 good appointments so far that should be coming in the summer. And like 100%. You said, Dan Ashworth is coming. You know, they're possibly going to get a Wilcox or a Julian Ward. These things are definite upgrades and definite productive and progressive things. Boom. So when you add this structure together, and just think about it, we got a manager here that's impacting our youth system, under 18s, under 15s. The under 20s aren't performing so well. They're in 5th. But at the same time, it's like, when you look at it prospectively, it's for the future. He kept saying it's for the future. Do you think if we had another manager, we would see Kobe Mainoo? Would we have seen Garnacho? You know, would we have seen Willie Kwambala? You know, like, you have to also put into context what the manager is doing and how the team is shaping. And it's progress, like Mick always says, is not a linear thing. Sometimes it's up and down. So
it's so trendy to be populist, to sort of you get hooked on the headlines and what certain media is reporting. So you kind of, it's kind of populist to jump on the out wagon, you know what I mean? Because there's no style of play, this. But if you just stop for a while and you understand why there is no style of play, he planned for style of play. He planned to play a high line, you know, with sweeper keeper, but then he got half of the squad injured. So he had to revert to plan C, not even that, and play different plays in out of possession, right?
Mhm.
So he hasn't been able to play his first 11. He hasn't been able to play his preferred style of play, right? But he's been sticking to it in a certain ways. So there's been moments when he had to sort of adjust, and it worked against City in the first half because he played a 4-2-2-2, right? So
Mhm.
it's like it looked like a 4-2-2, right? But it was a
Yeah.
4-2-2, like like a Gegenpress Ragnick style, and that was really, really effective. And it really shocked Pep Guardiola. He didn't really know what it was doing. It was frustrating, shouting at the fourth officials and stuff like that. And then, of course, we didn't have the squad depth, so he kind of cracked us open. He had to do substitutions, but it wasn't sort of the like for like substitution. It was not when you're looking at their bench, like yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those. This is a tougher thing for me. Like when I look at Erik ten Hag and I say, let me criticize this and let me criticize that as a football fan, a bit knowledgeable a little bit myself. For me, I look at it from the perspective where, like, okay, I could criticize the system and the setup now, but then I think to myself, what if we had a player that fit that setup? What if we had a player here that fit this,
Yeah.
or a backup that comes in and he is similar?
Yeah,
We might be
exactly.
looking at a whole different situation this season. So then I said to myself, maybe it's not just his fault. Maybe it's the fact that at other clubs, people talk about Liverpool winning the Carabao Cup with youths, young players who've been playing the Gegenpress high system energy
8
system for
years.
9 seasons, growing up in it. That's
Yeah,
all they
true.
know. How are they going to fail?
True.
They can't.
Yeah, but there you make a very, very valid point, basically, because once the manager comes in, he brings his backroom staff, everything changes because everyone's going to play that style of play that the manager is playing. That goes down all the way to academy. So what you're saying there, 100%, they had 9 years to prep, like, the youth. So it ain't matter, like, if you get all of the injuries, like, they can easily step back and step up and play that style of play with confidence. If you look at what we had 2 years under Ten Hag, so under 18s are playing his style super, they're smashing it. Under 21s, not so, like on the fifth. But the thing is, like, if I was a HR performance, I would come in and I have a do the strategic review, and I would just say, what the hell happened here, right? There's no process, everything is manual, everyone is disjointed, and when you have that environment, it becomes very toxic, and it goes down all the way down to the dressing room. Trust me. Just because it's a football club doesn't mean it's just a football club. It's work. That's what it is. They're going to work. So you're not having a happy camp whatsoever. So it's all about for Brailsworth to fix those, to optimize, to do the Lean Six Sigma, to find the optimization, the bottlenecks, and to cut the crap. When the old system, they had 4 different levels of veto approval for recruitment. It's not going to be like that. That's the thing. No wonder you can never pull the trigger like in the transfer market, and no wonder you can never agree, unless it was a shirt seller, right?
100%.
So, and I don't expect us to do like, a complete overhaul in one summer. Like, and everyone keep talking, oh, we're going to get rid of 11 players. Not going to happen. Ain't going to happen.
4 to
right?
6 max.
Yeah. If they get an offer, what I read about PSG, they think that Marcus Rashford is just using it to bump up his contract. What are you smoking? Haven't you read the room? We're not going to give any higher contracts wages. You know what I mean? So we are absolutely looking to get rid of players that are earning high wages and doesn't have that output performance.
Yeah. And you mentioned it clearly just now, right? When coaches come in, they come in with a backroom staff that filters everything down all the way to the academy. I don't know if a lot of fans could remember, but when Erik ten Hag came into the job, how many coaches of his staff was he allowed to bring with him?
Not many. 2.
He hired Benny McCarthy, and then they gave him this the English coach. What's his name? I keep forgetting. McLaren. This is his coaching staff. Everyone else has been there since Ollie, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you look at De Zerbi and you look at Potter, you look at Pep, you look at Klopp, you look at Arteta, all of them, the smallest team in coaching staff from any one of those coaches I just listed is 15 people.
So Benny McCarthy was there. The set piece coach has been fired. The physio has been fired. Who else been fired? I mean, you're absolutely right. They were there before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Armas also left. just now. I think he went to MLS.
No, not Chris
So-
Almos, Chris Ramsey.
Ramsey, sorry, yeah, not Amos, Ramsey, yeah. So you're right, because you got to bring in your own coaching staff, your own analysis, your own everything, right? But
Mhm.
you were only allowed to bring in 2, and that is the problem. And you still have, what the hell is Darren Fletcher doing, laying out cones in training and calling himself technical director?
Well, as you mentioned, Mick, there's been some reports that Sir Dilbert has deemed Darren Fletcher to be appointed wrongfully to the position that he has, and it was not something that should have been done, and it will be rectified. And we have not mentioned, but there's lots of a list of different characters in different positions, even at executive board level, are being reviewed and probably going to be moved on because of their performance over the last decade.
They will.
It's important.
It's important. Anyway, so Mark, big up. So in terms of Saturday, tomorrow's game, are you excited? Do you think we're going to get a good result? Because Everton is, let's face it, they are not good.
I mean, Everton is one of those teams where they're tough cookies. You know what I mean? They might not be good or great, but they will come out and they will fight. So it's one of those games where I expect United, even with the depleted squad, to come out and get a result, definitely get the 3 points. At a worst case scenario, a draw, but I definitely think we'll get the 3 points. We've done a 3-0 to them early on this season. We will do another a league double this season. So yeah, I think a 2-1, maybe a 2-0, or maybe a 3-1 would be the score.
I think we'll keep a clean sheet. 100%.
Yeah, Onana's been great, been very good. I can't, I was criticizing Onana heavily, but he's been very good in the last few games. So might just keep a clean sheet.
They were park the bus as per usual. Sean Dyche, pragmatic, hitters on the break, and the rest of the story. It's just, but we shouldn't do a full the players should be ready for it mentally. Go for the kill, right? This is war. Go for the kill. Grab them by the scruff of the necks, right? And in terms of the lineup, I wouldn't have a clue, but I think he will go with the same lineup as he did with City.
Yeah, I only think I have heard some rumblings that they're going to put Garnacho back on the left and Anthony off the right this time, and Rashford is going to go through the middle. Now, I don't really mind that, but I would, because I would like to see Anthony get some minutes, but I would like to see him on the left. Because I feel like Garnacho has been performing so well on the right. I feel like moving him off the right is making an issue. So
you want to balance the tires now, do you?
Well, yeah, I always like when I was saying weeks ago we are lacking a left back. Anthony's not performing well in attack, but he needs game time to get himself fit and get himself back in that mode. I was saying put him at left back. He's a left-footed player. He's good at defensively. He's good tactically. So I just saying, like for now, we have to move creatively. You know what I mean? We don't have everything available to us, so we have to do what we can do and make it work.
I'm not even going to do a prediction lineup because it's so hard to pick. So I'm just going to go with the flow tomorrow, turn off 60 minutes before the game, find out the team sheet, and then assess it. So, yeah, this is good. In terms of score prediction, Kenny's going 2-1, 1-0 scoreline. I go the Ruby Classic 3-1 United, but I do believe it's going to be either a 2-0 or 3-0, but I play it safe. I always go with my classic 3-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-0 this time because you know what? I think we're going to score some goals early, and I think we'll just see it over the line. It might be a bigger scoreline than anyone thinks as well because you know what? United has yet to score a 4-0 or 5-0 this season against a Premier League team.
Yeah.
And you know what, guys? It's just so weird that I'm watching the press conference and I'm just saying to myself, what if United was to go there and score 4 or 5 against Everton?
What if the wheels comes off and we start scoring? Yeah, footballing gods do exist, people. And listen, at the end of the day, I thought it was a good interview. The snippets that I caught, it was a manager that wasn't making excuses, but laid out the cards on the table. Facts you cannot deny, and I respect that. Right? So far, he doesn't throw anyone under the bus, and we will see. Hojlund seems available, but I don't think he's going to rush him. He might put him on the bench. We will see. But beautiful people, thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget, there is about 100 of you watching right now, don't forget to smash that like button, for crying out loud, if you really love this team and support this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so as well. And if you want to become a member, yeah, that will definitely support the channel. Thank you, Mark, for covering for me early. I was stuck. I was planning the stream, and then my wife set me up for a dinner reservation table, and I just literally have to scoff my food in and just drive home quickly. And I came in time because your computer crashed.
Yo, Mick,
Hey,
when I saw you
it's
there, when I
paper.
was getting back in, I was like, man, I'm happy that you were there. You know, it's been doing it. You know, I'm gonna have it replaced this week. It's gonna have some changes. Big up to Vicky now coming in. I hope she gets the presser, and maybe we could get some of her views. You know, maybe in the pre-match tomorrow, if you're not busy, come in and have your say. Let's hear what you think about the game tomorrow. You know,
Yeah, we will have a post-match after the game as well. And hopefully we will celebrate, Vicky. Hope you're doing well, and happy birthday to your son as well. No,
happy
it wasn't
birthday.
your son. No, it wasn't her son. Sorry, that was the wrong son.
Oh.
I mixed it up with Nicky. Super Nick's
Super
son.
Nick. Okay.
Super Nick had the son has the birthday. But man, I'm positive. Seriously, I'm positive, because moving forward for now, we can only go pedal to the metal, game by game. Who is available? Just play like you mean it. Hop on one leg. Just get us those maximum 3 points that we need. Eventually, Spurs and Villa will drop points, because if you look at their fixtures, you're camping with the Cubs. Big up the Cubs, the basketball team.
No,
The Cubs, the baseball team.
Scouts.
Oh, yeah.
Scouts.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you know, Mick, you know what it is, Mick, for me? This is the point where all the players there who want to get starting roles next season, or want to be that player, or want to show up, this is their moment. You know what I mean? This is the moment where we see boys become men. You know, we see who's chalk and who's cheese. This is what's going to happen right now. And
yeah, love that analogy, my friend. Love that analogy. Beautiful people, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Vicky, as well. Enjoy your camping with the Cubs, and hopefully we will see you a little bit later on. Depends on how Jarvis is doing. We were planning a show, but Jarvis is picking up his Tesla that's been broken for 2 weeks. So yeah, he's excited about that one. Anyway, community, we love you. Hope you love us back and love your team, and look forward for positive results tomorrow. Look forward to see you tomorrow for the watch along, the pre-match, the after party, everything. You know, win, lose, draw, we're always here for you, providing our opinions with a balanced approach. Mark, thank you so much. Any final words for you, my friend?
I'll just quote Vicky right here and say, you know what? Every player is making an application for their jobs.
Yes.
That's what it is right now.
That's the way we finish. Yeah, everyone is looking for a job application. Take it easy, people. See you to the next one. Like and subscribe, and see you to the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us on the socials.